Hello there. It's time for an update on my artificial intelligence research platform, which is this robotic head that you can see here. I've been working on it for a few years now, but now at this point I've got 4K vision in the eyes, and you've obviously got stereo audio in the ears, proper binaural audio so it can hear in 3D. And I shall explain to you some of the other bits it does and show you a demonstration. So here goes. One of the first things I wanted to show you today was how I've managed to integrate into this platform a piece of software that I found on GitHub actually. And it's basically an emotional detection asset, so it can tell which emotions you're feeling based on your facial expressions. And it uses the kind of standard model of the the facial landmark points, and from that it can work out what your facial expression is. You can find it on GitHub under Rage Applied Game, I think, University of Netherlands. There's various things you can try, emotional detection asset, and then you'll find it there. So I'll just show you quickly how I managed to integrate it into this platform. Right, in order for me to produce kind of accurate movements on the face, when it comes to eyelids and eyebrows and lips and everything else, I've needed to kind of create my own calculations here based on those 68 points of the face. And what I've managed to do is obviously, because the face is moving, it could be up and down, side to side, and obviously there's a scale factor if you're further away from the camera or close to the camera. I've had to do a few calculations on there, basic trigonometry really, to give you those kind of calculations to produce the signals for the servos. So that's what you've got here. Right, this is the program that's running, and you can just see down there is the bit of software that I've managed to integrate. So you can see it looks slightly different from theirs because obviously I've moved the boxes around to fit into mine. And you can see the emotion detection sort of boxes that they've got there on the right hand side. So I shall just start this off. Right, this first one selects the video source, and you've got basic selection of video sources. So using their software, you can't access different resolutions of the camera, which I'll show you can later on. With kind of my version. So if I just select this one, which is the internal camera, which you can see my face there. It's picking up the eyes, the little white spots on there, and if I close my eyes it should go off. So right, here we go. A couple of things to show you. First of all, if I move the camera down here, this can see my eyes. Alright, so I'll take my glasses off a little bit. And basically you can see the iris and pupil in the centres, with the whites of the eye either side. This section here is after you've gone through various filters, converting to grayscale, and using blob detection with a threshold here. Now what you can see here is the threshold varying, and that's because it works based on varying light conditions. So obviously the more light there is, the lower the contrast really on the eye's detection. So obviously the difference between the dark and the light part of my eye is a lot less under bright conditions. So it varies it automatically depending on changing light conditions. I have got auto blink detection on there as well, which means you have to set this really and fix it, because otherwise when you close your eyes it changes the contrast levels and everything, and it tries to adjust as if it's still looking for that dark section in the middle of the white eye. So the best thing you can do if you want to do the blink detection is to set that when you're happy, and then it'll obviously detect the blinking quite readily. Right, the next thing I'm going to do here is connect up the robot head, which you can see by this icon on here.
Robot serial port open.
Okay. And that is obviously adjusting to me. I shall try and show you both images at the same time. So if I'm staring at the camera like this, and if I open my mouth, you can see it does the same. If I move my head side to side, okay, it does that. If I try and get close in and pull some scary faces, you'll see what it does. Okay, so you kind of get the general idea. Obviously, the more things that are going, the slower it is, you know, but this is pretty much most of it working at the same time. Right, I'm just going to add on the eye tracking, which is here. So if I select eye track, it's then using those points on here. And I've averaged out the eyes, so basically you can track each individual iris, but it does look kind of strange if they go slightly out. So what I've done is I've coupled them together and taken the average readings of the two. So if I can try and look there and look at, change my eye positions. Right, you can just see it moving. I can select a camera on here as well. So if I select video source here. Now this version of mine, you can actually change the resolution of the camera, so you can access various resolutions that are available to you. This one here is 120 by 480, and it's using the cameras that are built in to the eyes. I'll show you an expanded view of this later. Right. Okay. You can just about see that. I'll try and open my eyes. Okay. You can see the camera image at the same time. I can separate out that camera image, so you've got high definition at high frame rates, but in this particular mode it's trying to do everything at the same time within the one program. Here is blink, so I've got a manual blink here which I can select at any time, or just simply switch it to auto. So if I look in the camera, okay, if you can see those white spots on the eyes. Okay. If I can get near enough. Oops, no, I forgot to set this. Okay, first thing I should do is set up the thresholds. So there's probably about right. Oops. Set. Okay. And now when I blink, it should. There we go. There we go. Right, okay. If I select something completely different, here we go, camera tool. Now this is the camera tool. It's a similar version to the one that came with the camera. From Leopard Imaging, because that is where the camera came from, and obviously everything's still working in the background. Right, so the other program is still running, slightly different to theirs. Change the resolution, run. Oh, it helps if I get rid of the other one first. I need to stop this. Okay, let's just do something different. That'll confuse it. Okay. Right, let's try again. As obviously I can't run the stereo cam on this program and the other one at the same time. So it's best to stop that one first. Now this one should work. There we are, resolution 1080, run cam, there we go. You can see when the eyelids are closed and open, because right, if I come over here and open my eyes wide, here we are. Right. Okay. Okay, you can now see the camera on the screen. Right, I'm going to switch this to demo mode for the minute. So I'm going to turn this off, alright, because he's still doing what I'm doing. And just pull the plug out the back. And inside here I've got a little tiny switch where I've got a kind of demonstration mode. So everything that happens now will be internally and not under the PC control. I think I've done that. Right, I've now switched the robotic head to demo mode. It's a little tiny switch inside there, and it means that everything that happens now regards to the head is from an internal program. So I've basically saved some sample programs and sample sequences. Okay, so if we start it off, there we go. So you'll recognise these sequences from the music video Pedals by Jack Conte. So I've kept the same sequences in there because it takes quite a long time to write them, so it seemed quite convenient to keep those in there. So now you can see the camera on the screen, and in a second it will go into slow motion mode. I quickly need to cover up the sensor on the front here. And stay still. Okay. So you can see from the camera image on the screen what the eyes are looking at. And I'll wave. Okay, so you can see. Well, it's quite low latency in this mode. So virtually as soon as I'm moving my hand across the screen, it's in pretty much in real time. See, there's a cross-eyed version. So it gives you some indication of what's possible using this platform. Okay, so you've got kind of visual recognition, obviously the emotion detection, and you can add your own artificial intelligence programs in there. And I'll just quickly show you the speech recognition one that was in there as well. So if I just shut this down, okay, let's put my glasses back on so I can see what I'm doing. Right, it's unplugging. Right, let's go back onto PC mode. Right, we're now back under PC control. So obviously as I do something like this, it will copy me. And I just want to quickly show you the speech recognition thing on here. It's not particularly accurate, as I say, because it depends on the quality of the microphone and the background noise and everything else. And obviously because all the servos and everything are running, it does generate some interference. But here goes. Speech on. Hello? Hello?
Hi.
So whatever I'm doing,
Hi.
if it thinks it's heard hello, it jumps into
Hi.
this mode.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
So that gives you some idea of what you can do if your speech recognition system is up to scratch. So, you know, you can find your own software, find something that works accurately, and then produce your own sort of facial expressions or lip movements to go with the sound and play them sort of simultaneously. So that just gives you a quick idea, an indication of what you can do with this platform. So I shall leave it there with one final facial expression.
Hi.
There you go.
Hi.
Even if I didn't say hello.